there's a lot of really special looking localities out there. And we wanted to really bring him out to the forefront as much as possible. Some of these species weren't even available up until we started importing them back in 2012. I think is when we first started. Like Sumbawas was something that was not a commonplace in the marketplace.
Wow,
it wasn't common at all. Togianus, some of the Celebensis types and things like that, just very hard to get. The quotas weren't there like they are now, and we kind of introduced them to the marketplace and made them a little bit more popular, I think.
Yeah.
Now, John, at what point did you and Alex start looking into getting into the bells and the laces? Like, when did that kind of cross paths?
Well, in a nutshell, okay, Alex and I imported those bells, the first bells to hit the United States legally. We imported them legally in 2012, and we sold them. And we said that was pretty dumb, so let's try to get more for ourselves.
Right.
So the following year, we imported more, and we didn't keep them. We sold them. And then I said that was dumb. So eventually, we got to get our own bells and normal lace. But it wasn't until like maybe 3 or 4 years ago that we were able to get some babies to raise up.
Wow.
And that's what we have now.
Now, that one of those babies being that freaking amazing, I'm gonna get a picture of it real quick, but the amazing pink male that you have. What's his name? What's his name, Alex? Do you have a name for him?
His name is Quicksilver.
Quicksilver?
Yeah, Quicksilver.
Dude, but he's pink. Yeah. Like, what? Like, did he like? What?
I know. He transformed.
Wow.
He wasn't pink when we first got him. That's why he was more like, he was very drabby looking, as a matter of fact.
Jeez.
And then he kept evolving after every shed, just got more pink and more pink. So we definitely got to switch his name up to like Pink Panther or Clitoris or something like that.
Clitoris. Oh man.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing.
He's a fucking amazing animal, and having his offspring just makes me feel even that more like appreciative, because man, they're growing like weeds, bro. I'm telling you right now, they're fucking growing really, really steadily, and it's amazing. It's just amazing. Like, like I've told this story many times, how before the bells, I had a Nile monitor for about a year that basically just beat the shit out of me and wouldn't eat in front of me, right? Like I said, I was willing to take the abuse, just eat in front of me. I just want to see you eat, and he wouldn't do that. And so going from that to a fucking monitor that was so small out of the box and already ate off the forceps. Like both these monitors came straight out the box, went on a fucking bass for like 2 minutes, and I offered them a meal and they ate, and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, this is a different ball game.
I told you that was going to happen. I said, these things are going to come up to you for food every time. They're very intelligent, and they adjust very, very quickly. Whereas some other monitors take a long time to adjust, and they see you and they're a little bit more fearful, and they kind of hide behind things. Lace come right up to you. In most cases, they come right up to you for food.
Let me tell you the only thing, and I want your guys' feedback on this, because this is going to happen in the future. I already know it. But I noticed the only thing that was kind of a challenge with the male, the female was really like, I didn't give a fuck. But when I gave him a higher enclosure, I put him in a different enclosure. And that's kind of when I saw the male kind of fucking like he kind of buffed up on me a little bit. I was like, whoa. I was like, you're good. But then like he adapted, like you said, he adapted so quick to that new enclosure. And it's funny how they love height. I feel like the higher the shit is, they just love being up there, man. I don't know what it is, but they love being high, from what I can see. Yeah. Just like their owner. But yeah. I mean, what's your guys' opinion moving forward? Like, I mean, do you think there's a better way to introducing a monitor to a new enclosure? Like, is there a certain step you should take, or is it just fucking like, fuck it, put him in there and see what happens?
Just put it in there and see what happens. That's the only way you're going to find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do. I mean, and if it's captive bred stuff, you're seeing the adjustment period just shrink from 12 to 24 hours. If it's 24 hours, it's too long, but they usually adjust pretty quick. Now, if you're talking about, you know, wild caught animals, that's a different story, right? Because you're dealing with a whole different psychological issue from those animals being, you know, taken out of their environment and put in a box, essentially. So it's totally different.
Right.
You're comparing apples to oranges there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, you guys had plenty of experience getting wild caught animal monitors like adjusted to captive living, right? Both of you?
Yeah.
Now, what's like? What would you say, John?
It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of time.
John, what do you think? What do you think?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, you're good. What are some things you should kind of be aware about though when it comes to that, John? Because I mean, obviously, that's no walk in the park establishing a wild caught fucking monitor, right?
It can be very hard. If you're working with babies, they adjust faster. Some of the big wild caught adults take a while, or they don't adjust at all. They just, you know, don't take food from forceps. They don't want to be bothered. Yeah. They just hide, you know. So, but the babies, you know, tend to adapt faster than the big ones, generally speaking.
Now the bells you guys got came from Europe, is that right, Alex? Or if I'm mistaken, one of the bells that the male and came from Europe, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag. Hey, Alex, I'm going to suggest something. Go ahead and just exit out and go back to the email I sent you. It should reset your connection, and there won't be such a bad lag, but there's a little bit of a lag right now.
All right.
Usually that fixes it. Yeah. But you're good, right, John? We're connections. Yeah. All right, cool. But yeah, if I remember correctly, I know when I was talking to Alex about the bells and them coming into your guys's possessions, they came from Europe. So these are European bells phases. Is that right? Line?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. These are European bells.
Now, were there already bells phases like in the country before then? Like people working with them, or
in the United States? I think there was, but I don't remember who had them, and I don't know how many there were.
Okay. Can you hear us, Alex?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, that's better.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, Alex, the European line that we were talking about a while ago about the bells phase. Can you kind of explain like what they were doing in Europe, or if you don't mind, tell me a little bit more about?
I think it was just animals that were brought in from a zoo, and magically some bells appeared. So, you know, it was like I believe it was a bell carrier that was bred to something else that was possibly a bell carrier. And then bells just started popping up, and it was this magical thing that just, you know, evolved out of nothing, really. You know, like kind of like when you don't expect an albino to hatch from an egg, and it actually does, kind of like one of those things. And then as soon as they became available in the marketplace, because I think whoever started breeding them held on to them for a couple of years until he had the right numbers, and then he felt comfortable selling to the public, and then they all of a sudden appeared, and we took advantage of the moment and brought in the male and a few other normals that were carrying the bell gene. So
yeah,
which explains why none of my animals are able to produce normal. So
which, yeah, I also want to talk about that. It's crazy because, you know, I want to add a third to the group, but I want it to be I really want a normal lace. Like, I'm obsessed with normal laces. They're fucking beautiful. Nothing wrong with the bell space. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, but you know what I mean? You know, like the normal laces. Now, where we at with that, Alex? Like, you need to get a normal, like a different monitor in order to make one, or where are you at with that?
I just need to find a normal male that is not in any way genetically connected to my animals or John's animals in this case either, because I think we share some of the same animals from the same lines. So we need to find something totally different and breed it back only to the normals. We can't breed anything back to the bell at this point in time, just for the fact that it could still possibly be a carrier, because of the fact that we brought in so many lace over the last couple of years that we kind of think that bell gene is influencing every single lace out there that came through us at this point in time. So we got to kind of breed it out and start with a male normal that might not have that bell gene and breed it back to one of the normal females that we have and start making our normals that way. But there's still a chance that we could get bells out of those clutches. We just don't know yet. We haven't had the chance to actually bring that to fruition. So we're hoping that we can soon.
So what would I need to do then